Does anyone have a question?
Stuart?
Yes, Yogi.
Would you talk about mantras and Om specifically? I know that you're...
Yeah, I can talk about mantras. I don't really practice, those kind of singing mantras, Om Namah Shivaya, and things like that. But I do work very deeply with Om. Because, to me, you got to go to the source of creative energy. Om is the source of creative energy. It's the sound of Om that's creating the entire universe. Everything around us, everything inside us. And, you open, especially the Crown Chakra, and people keep going away and coming back. You open the Crown Chakra, and and you can tune into that sound, and you can draw it through your entire system, and it'll really help to nurture you inside and help you to grow. Mantras, I don't know, I'm not an expert on mantras. When I was younger, I used to chant. I remember when I was 19 years old, I would go to the Hare Krishnas, and I'd do Hare Krishna for 2 hours, and but it never really went deep inside me. It kind of got me stoned a little bit, when I used to chant mantras. And I never was able to take that chanting deep inside myself. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Certainly more people chant mantras than come to these Kundalini meditation classes. So it must work for people, and that's just fine with me. It never really worked for me. But the Om sound is a whole different experience for me anyway, because that sound will come into your system through the Crown Chakra, and it'll nurture and open each chakra, and it'll energize the chakra system. I mean, you're taking in the sound of all creativity. Now, even in the Bible, they say in the beginning was the Word, And there's a lot of profundity in that, because every word that we utter determines how high our consciousness is. So I for years now, I've been, even today in this class, I'm working with the Om sound. And you hear it, we all hear. I used to hear it when I was 5 years old. I would lie in bed and I'd hear this high-pitched electronic sound that people think it's something wrong with their ears. It's not. It's the Om sound. And I always go, where is this coming from? Where is it coming from? I used to listen. Maybe it's the backyard, maybe it's, in the kitchen, the refrigerator, something. And, it was really the sound of creative energy. And when I learned from Rudy to open inside and then to begin to absorb that sound, it always, and till today, has deepened my inner work. One's tuning into all of creation, everything that's being created in the universe. And that's the Om sound. And again, I can't judge. I'm not an expert on mantras. I'm not an expert on those things. I know when Muktananda was in America, people have to stop leaving and coming back. It really disturbs everything. When Muktananda was in America, we spent, a month just sitting around chanting. And then he made us stop doing our open eye meditation. He said, well, that's not the Hindu way, and nobody in India does this. And he had all kinds of reasons. Rudy, respected him as his teacher. And we no longer did this open eye meditation for about 2 months, 3 months. And then Rudy finally one day said, it's enough. He said, this meditation is more powerful than anything I've ever, experienced in India. We have to continue to do it. And we went back to it again. But, you know, we would chant, and, you know, it never worked for me. But it did work for other people, so I can't judge it. You know, it's not for me to judge how people have a spiritual life. I can only do what works for me. Om sound works. And it's so powerful and goes so deep inside. You know, it really opens the whole chakra system, strengthens it. But one has to, you know, be able to absorb it and take it in. And then it really strengthens you inside. You know, in some understandings of Om, I know this because when I was in college, I wrote a thesis on the word Om, which kind of blew my teachers away. You know,
it's 2 o'clock.
In order to graduate, I had to write a thesis. And then I was supposed to be interviewed by 3 teachers for 3 hours on this thesis to determine whether or not I would graduate. And I didn't, so I sat down and I just wrote it on Om, like about, I don't know, 50, 60 pages of writing on the Om sound. I have no idea where it is today or if it is anywhere, not in some garbage can somewhere. But I'll never forget with my teachers sitting there, they had these 3 teachers who knew nothing about any of this. And they asked me one question about Buddhism. And after that, we sat for 3 hours and just talked. We just talked. Nothing about my paper. They said, oh, your paper was great. We're not experts. We don't even know what to ask you. But we want to find out more about you and how you could write a paper like this. And I spent 3 hours with them just talking. And it was incredible. And then, you know, when we finished, they said, if you want a recommendation to any college in the world, we would be happy to give you a recommendation. And I wasn't one of the better students in that school, but I knew I was finished with the university. But, but what I'm saying is Om has always worked for me in one way or another. Got me out of the university, freed me from college. But today I work with it in a very deep way. I mean, it goes in and it truly nurtures each chakra, strengthens each chakra. You know, I can give you a little thing to say. You can, you know, when you sit down to meditate, you know, just to begin your meditation, just say, we are the children, we are God's children, and we listen to the sound of Om at the center of the universe. Just say that to yourself, and it'll open you very profoundly inside, very deeply. I use that. It's not even, you might call it a mantra or a prayer in the meditation. We are God's children. We listen to the sound of Om at the center of the universe. Because ultimately, we all live at the center of the universe. What separates us is mind and thought and polarity and all that stuff. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Yes, Stuart?
Yes.
About the sound of Om. Do you recommend the sound Au Om or the sound simple of Om?
You could do you know, I go Om, okay? You know, also, the word Om can be also spelled A-U-M. Each initial is a different aspect of a consciousness. The entire word is the totality of consciousness. But when I do it, I just go Om, Om.
Okay.
If A-U-M works for you, then do that, you know? But it's what works for you. You know, I'm not here to tell you how to do it. It's what works for you. Whatever gets you open, whatever gets the energy moving inside, I mean, that's the important thing. You know, not if it's AUM or OM or whatever, you know, not important. But try it. And I'm telling you, well, it might not work for you. I don't know, but it certainly works for me in a very profound way. You know, look, in Christianity and Judaism, you have Amen, you know, which is almost the same kind of thing at the end of a prayer. You know, so it's in all religions. Yes, you have to be able to almost be smart enough to recognize it. Does anyone else have a question they would like to? I'm glad you asked that question because it's something that should be talked about. And I don't usually talk about it, but you know, I'd like to share that with all of you, and hopefully it'll help you in your inner work. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart?
Yes?
Do you work on us outside of meditation class? Or is that Shakti?
Yes, look, you know, I know, look, Skanda, I'm used as a vehicle for energy. And if you know, sit down and open and try to tune in to my energy field, it'll come right to you. It really will. I mean, I don't have to think about you or anyone else. It'll just come to you. I mean that. Because they use me as a vehicle of energy to transmit it to people who are working on themselves to get to God, to have a spiritual life. So you just sit down. I do it with Rudy, and you know, Rudy died almost 50 years ago. And his energy comes, Nityananda comes. I did it when Rudy was alive. I used to do it with, you know, other teachers. I met a teacher in South India once named Babaji, and he was very strong. And I spent a couple of days in his ashram. And I got a lot of deep teachings from him, although not verbal teachings. It was all transmission of Shakti. That's what it was. And I was very appreciative of what he gave me. And I used to occasionally tune into him, but mostly I tune into Rudy and Nityananda. I mean, the wonderment of it is they're on a higher plane of energy, their soul forces, and you can draw all of that energy down. And if you want to tune into my energy, it's there for you. I mean, you know, I don't have to think about it. It'll just come to you. It really will.
Mm. I do it already.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, then thank you and God bless you all. And there'll be a class on Sunday. I hope to see you all in class. If you know people that are interested, you know, I'm always open for new students. And you all have a wonderful weekend. And thank you for this class. And thank you, Diobi, for asking that question. It's very important. Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stuart. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.